So I wanted to make a video talking about one of my favorite stocks right now. This is my #1 pick as a long portfolio, kind of hold this one till the day that you die kind of stock. Maybe it gets bought out one day, but in general, this stock is going to the moon. It's up 500% since the beginning of last year. And that's insane for a stock like this. For this kind of company to be up 500%, nobody, and I mean nobody, would have been able to tell you last year, the beginning of last year, this stock was going to be this high. I bought this stock at $30, and I was thinking maybe it would go $60, $70, $80, and that would kind of be the top. But no. Nvidia currently had a high at $145. Insane. And the reason that Nvidia is trading so high is I'll kind of explain kind of my thesis on why and why there's so much value with this company. So obviously Nvidia specializes in computers, graphic cards, data centers, cloud stuff, really servers in general, and just growing that side of the business. But the one thing about Nvidia that a lot of people don't understand is their AI technology. Their technology is going to be huge in the future for self-driving cars. So all this new technology that's coming out with AI for self-driving cars, for cars that brake faster, for auto-sensing cars that can sense accidents, stuff like that, and all these different kind of things that need graphic cards, that need technology that Nvidia has, well, they are in the perfect spot to just keep going higher and higher here. The stock's currently at $145, had a high there. It's a total just breakout of this stock. Huge volume pushing this stock up in the last week or so. They had an earnings that just killed it on the earnings, and they are literally exploding right now. Nvidia is going to the moon. Beginning of last year, beginning of February, the stock was at $24.72. And from there, it kind of jumped up to the 37 area, had another ER, boom, killed it again in the ER, blew up. Next ER, blew up again. Pulled back a little bit, next ER, blew up again, jumped up, another ER, blew up again to $120. From $120, everyone was like real bearish, like, oh, there's no way this stock's going higher, not going higher. It pulled back to $100, went back up to 120, got smacked again. A couple different banks and stuff put out bearish forecasts. They said, oh, their stock's trading way too high right now. It's gonna go down. And it kind of got sold off because of that. You can see here it was at 120, kind of had a top there, double top, and pulled back down to $94. And then from 94, got back up above 100, still had some more people that were bearish about it, and then bam. See what happens here. The shorts get squeezed, it jumps up to $145. This is a total short squeeze right here. Had a lot of shorts in this area thinking that Nvidia was overpriced going down. There's no way this is going to break $120 after having that double top. Well, there it is at $145. Big move there for Nvidia. Nvidia could easily be $300, $400 in the future. Their technology is amazing. Nvidia has always been on the front end of technology with AI, graphic cards. Their data centers are blowing up. All their technology for cloud-based servers, stuff like that, also is blowing up. And obviously the market right now for that stuff is huge. So they are in the perfect place at the right time here. Looking back at their stock, back in 2014, the stock was at $17, kind of just traded around that $17 area for a while, got down to $16 there, and really had no big momentum. But it wasn't until later on that people discovered the whole AI technology that Nvidia had, that discovered how their data centers were blowing up, discovering all their cloud-based technology blowing up, how they were overcoming everybody else, overcoming AMD, and really taking over that side of the market for the graphic cards and their technology there on that end. I've always been a big fan of Nvidia, even in the past when I was in the gamings and stuff like that, playing video games. It was like Nvidia was the top of the line for everything like that. The really cool thing here is actually for me, for one of the reasons that I bought Nvidia last year at $30 was I went to a conference. It was a defense drone conference trade show thing. Had Lockheed Martin, had all these big technology, defense, drone technology companies there, and there was the Nvidia booth. And I was walking by and I looked over and I saw the Nvidia logo. I saw Nvidia, stuff all over the walls, and I was like, graphic cards? Who cares about graphic cards? That a technology, defense technology. Well, I walked around the Nvidia booth. It was packed, obviously. Right next to Lockheed Martin had a Nvidia booth, and Lockheed Martin there was not many people in the Lockheed Martin booth, but the Nvidia booth was blowing up. There was a lot of people inside that booth. So I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Something's going on here. So after walking around the booth, talking to some of the people, I was looking at some of their technology, and really their whole technology was focused at that trade show, at least, on self-driving cars, on robots, on all this stuff, using their technology to sense objects, to be able to drive themselves autonomously with the AI. And I was like, okay, this changes everything. So if Nvidia is going into this world, the graphic cards, all that stuff, that's gonna just be money they make. But this is the future, and this is why people were buying the stock. This is why people bought the stock at 30. This is why people bought the stock at 60. This is why people bought the stock at 90, and now they're still buying it at 145 because they see the future with this. People buy stocks betting on the future value. You don't buy a stock today at $100 because you're like, well, Nvidia makes this much money and I'm happy with that and I don't care if it goes up. You buy the stock today at $100 because you think, well, their revenue is going to keep increasing. It's going to keep increasing. And I think in the next year or so, they should easily be at $150, $145, which in no time, they're actually up in a month. So huge move there for Nvidia. I think I told a couple different people beginning of last year, keep an eye on Nvidia. This was the future in terms of AI and technology, in that sense, graphic cards and source. But I know their data centers and their cloud-based technology is also doing really well, making money for them. But the big investment here is on the AI side. Self-driving cars are the future. Everyone sees it already with Tesla, stuff like that. More and more cars that are self-driving, more and more cars that are self-aware in terms of sensing crashes and sensing cars braking. So there's a lot of room here for Nvidia to grow. I'm not telling you that you should go buy Nvidia right now at $140, $45, but maybe wait for a pullback if you're looking to get in on this company. If you're sitting on the fences, maybe you sat there on the fences when it was $100 and you're like, well, maybe it'll pull back some more, and now it jumps up to $145. So if you really love a company today, if you really love a company, you kind of just have to get in. You got to jump in with both feet. The market might pull back. The market might crash. There might be a day where Nvidia drops, $20, $30, and it's a perfect buy. But until then, it's hard to say because it's $145 now. Maybe it goes to $150 next week. It's one of those things. You sit around, you wait, and you wait for the pullback. You wait for the pullback, or the pullback never comes, and it goes higher and higher. It's going to be paying the bills for a long time and looking good in the portfolio as it's up almost 500%. I'm sure some of you guys have this in your portfolio. I know a lot of people have got on the Nvidia train because it's been just going to the moon, and it's hard to deny that Nvidia has a bright future. If you have any more questions about Nvidia, leave a comment. If you have any ideas that I didn't cover in the video about Nvidia, leave that comment below. But you can see the chart here is just beautiful. Just moving up from the beginning of last year up to $145. Can't really complain. Had a couple pullbacks, There was a bunch of bearish downgrades saying that they were thinking Nvidia was going to go down. There was a couple just kind of crappy banks, stuff like that, did that. They were basically trying to short Nvidia, keeping it down, and you can see what happened here. The shorts got squeezed. It's up to $145. So all those guys who said that Nvidia was way overpriced, had $100, I guess you could say that it's way overpriced at $145 now. Or you could say that's a great value. So that's how it works. That's the markets for you. One firm will put out a report saying that Nvidia is overpriced and that they think it's going to go lower. It's going to go a little bit lower. They're going to load up, and then they're going to help squeeze it higher there. Or they're sitting there short and helping it squeeze either way. So you got to have the bears. You got to have the bulls. I see no reason for Nvidia to not stop going higher.